Good morning and welcome to the T-Bird Spotlight. Today we welcome Dawson Baracani from the baseball team. He has a 3.0 GPA and is studying sports management. So, Dawson, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm a third-year student athlete at Mesa Community College. I moved down here 3 years ago from Sammamish, Washington, where I grew up, and I graduated high school. It's about 20 or 30 minutes east of Seattle. Um, I thought it was a great place to grow up, but I've really enjoyed living in Arizona since I moved here. And I play third base for Mesa Community College, but I've played second base and first base in the past for Mesa the last couple of years. And yeah, that's really a good
So
description.
what's the biggest what was like the biggest culture shocker between Seattle and Phoenix?
Probably just the baseball is played completely differently. Um,
Explain.
Baseball here I don't know if it was just because it was in high school that I played up there and it's college here, but it's taken a lot more like seriously, and everything is broken down to basically like a fundamental standpoint, kind of. Like I've learned so much more about the game since I've come to college and I've played for Coach Sorelli than I did playing 12 years, 13 years of baseball in Seattle area. Um, I don't know if it's just because we can get outside all year round and we can um, practice our skills all year round, or what, but it's just a different kind of baseball, really.
That's a good reflection and about the game and yourself and the coaching that you're receiving. So, why did you choose MCC?
Um, I wouldn't say I really chose MCC. I say MCC kind of chose me, actually, because I wasn't really interested in playing junior college baseball out of high school. I was going to attend Grand Canyon University and basically try to walk on to the baseball team. And if I didn't make it, I was just going to go for school. Um, but a coach in my conference up in Seattle played for Mesa back in the 90s and is still really close with the coaches. And oftentimes he sends good players from up there down to Mesa, and they play for Mesa. So that's how I kind of got in touch with Mesa. But I wasn't looking at any other like Arizona junior colleges. I was only talking to like one or two in Washington. Um, it was really I was just intrigued by how good their baseball program was, and I had heard their coaches were really good, and everyone was exactly right about that. Yeah.
They've been around a while.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they chose you. You've been a good asset to our
Thank you.
community. How do you manage your time between sports and academics?
Um, it's hard. It's harder than I thought it would be because I wouldn't get that tired after sports in high school, but in college it's completely different. We have morning weights and then we have a long practice in the afternoon. Um, so I really just try to get what I can done before practice, and then I do the majority of my stuff after practice because I take classes or online classes in my own time. They aren't like Zoom classes, so I just have to complete the homework before midnight. Um, So I generally just do my work after practice because I have a good amount of time. But if I can get something done before, then that really helps me.
Can you tell the listeners what time those weights start in the morning?
5 a.m. bright and early, but not very bright. Yeah.
Oh, the baseball team in your gray shirts, right? And
Yeah.
all sweaty.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been around. All right, that's awesome. So that's good that you're staying disciplined with your online classes. And that is, once again, you're pretty mature with this whole reflection process. That you understand that it's completely different than high school,
It is.
and
Yeah.
that you are, a little bit more worn out,
Hmm.
so you have to take care of the recovery process.
Yeah.
So do you get a good amount of sleep?
Um, the last couple nights I haven't actually. It's been a long week, and we had a long day on Saturday. Um, so it was kind of hard to get a good amount of sleep the last couple nights. But I usually try to go to bed early, especially when I have
Define,
to wake up at 5 a.m.
define early.
9:30, 10. I
All
try
right.
to go to bed around then, but if I go to bed after midnight, I'm not gonna be feeling good the next day.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good that you're aware of that.
Yeah.
Good. So what do you like to do in your spare time when you have
Um,
some?
my one of my favorite hobbies is probably fishing, And
Okay.
we just moved to a house, and we're right next to like a lake kind of pond thing in our development. And so I go over there and I can fish all the time, which is really fun. And I like to do that. I like to DoorDash in my free time just for some extra money. I don't have a lot of time because of baseball, so that's really nice. I can work whenever I want. I also really like to visit like new places, especially being new to Arizona. I like to go out and travel outside the valley, and there's different lakes you can go to, and hiking and mountains and stuff. I really like seeing all that stuff around here.
So, with that being said, what's your favorite spot that you've discovered?
My favorite spot probably would be it's past Canyon Lake, like you're going to Apache Lake down the Apache Trail, and the road actually closes. The Apache Trail is actually closed, I think 7 miles or so down past Canyon Lake, and there's just an incredible view at where the road's closed. You can walk up to basically like a cliff, and it overlooks. I think it's the Superstition Mountains over there, and it's just got a really cool view of it.
That's cool. I've
Yeah.
lived here 20 some years and I don't get outside the valley much.
Oh, really?
I'm not very outdoorsy,
Oh,
even from being from Montana.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's really hot here, so getting outside, it's troubling when it's really hot. I had trouble with that this summer. Didn't go outside
Oh,
very much.
just change your mindset. It'll
Yeah.
work out. You'll become a lizard in no time.
Yeah.
So, what do you plan on majoring in and why?
I plan on majoring in sports management. Um, I want to work in sports when I'm older. So, like specifically, I'd love to work in Major League Baseball as part of a front office. Um, so that I'd have to start out at like a lower level, maybe in as a scout or in the mail room, and then you try to work your way up. But sports management would really help me achieve that goal. You don't need like a specific major to actually get into that career, but sports management is one that like certainly would help you.
So, if you had a dream team that you could be in the front office for,
Uh,
which team is that?
Seattle Mariners, 100%,
Okay.
100%. Yeah.
So, who's your favorite player from them?
The Seattle Mariners, they got so many new ones. I'd say my favorite one from this year is probably Mitch Haniger.
What about like all time?
Oh, all time Griffey, probably.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was
Griffey
the answer
or
I was
Ichiro.
looking
I
for.
grew up watching Ichiro, so Ichiro.
Ichiro.
Yeah. So Ichiro,
Yeah,
he might be above Griffey just because I never really saw Griffey play, but
that's fair.
yeah.
That's good. All right. What are you looking forward to most in this upcoming season?
Um, Mostly playing a full season, having a full fall, and then playing out the full spring. My first year that I was at Mesa, we had a full fall, and then COVID shut us down in the spring in March, and that was really disappointing because I thought we had a really good team that year, and I thought we had a good chance of going to Oklahoma and going to the World Series. And I think that just having that whole fall really helps us in the spring, and that was one of the things last year I think that held us back from making a playoff run was we just didn't have a fall together. We only had 3 weeks to bond before the spring started, really. So I'm really excited to see how that turns out this year after we've had a full fall together, how we can play through a full spring. I think that's going to be really exciting.
What are some of the ways your guys' team is bonding?
Um, well, we've had them over here and hung out a couple times. We've all just become really close. We're around each other 5 6 hours a day almost, and everyone's a really nice kids, or everyone's really nice, and that's what I loved about Mesa is they don't bring in a lot of kids who just care about themselves. They bring in a lot of team players, and that's one thing that I've really enjoyed since I've been here was just the teammates that I've been with are fantastic.
That's so great to hear.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. What are the three reasons you like being a part of a sports team?
Um, Obviously, I mean it's pretty easy to make friends that way. You almost have automatic friends. But just like the bonding that you develop with your teammates over a whole year, you can't replicate that. Like, it's tough to. even in like a workplace or like with roommates or something. It's hard to replicate that bonding that you feel with a teammate after you've played with them for a whole year. It's um, that's really what I love about sports, um, from kind of the social side. But um, I also just love being outside. I love getting after it. I don't really like being cooped up inside for too long, and especially in a beautiful place like Arizona, I love to get outside and play ball.
Awesome. Who is your favorite personality or sports figure, however you want to answer that question, you follow or like the activity?
Um, Probably Fernando Tatis. Have you heard of
Yeah.
you Fernando Tatis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Just
think he's on one of my either my son or my husband's fantasy team.
oh yeah, yeah. He's a really good young player and for the Padres, and he plays hard, but his like the way he kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but like kind of like shows off and does things that are like unconventional in baseball, kind of. That's what I really like about him. Is he's kind of changing the game with like the way he celebrates and stuff after he hits a home run, and I just think that's really important in moving the game along and getting more people to like watch the game and enjoy the game. Is seeing people like that like celebrate the way he does, like having a huge bat flip or running really slow around the bases. He does this thing where right as he's about to touch third base, he like stops, pauses for a second, and then runs past third base and high fives his coach. And
And you think that's good for
well,
the game?
I mean, he's a major league player. Like we don't do that at on our team. We don't
No,
the other team
you
at
get
all.
kicked off immediately.
We don't do that at all. But I just think it's cool to see that part of the game kind of progress because they're major league players and they're not taking it on like a super personal level, um, because they're all trying to like move the game, progress the game. They're trying to um, make the game more fun for people to watch and stuff.
Okay, that's an interesting perspective. Us old people might disagree with you,
Yeah,
but that's good. We
yeah.
need to progress. What is your favorite sports quote?
Um, Gosh, favorite sports quote probably Yogi. I think Yogi Berra's baseball is 90% mental and 50% physical. I think, and the other half is physical. He said. Um, and I think that's true because um, I used to not really like think that was the case when I was younger, but as I've gotten to the later years of high school baseball and gotten into college baseball, this game is 90% mental, and um, even if you have all the physical tools, you could have bad mental framework really, and the like your results will not come the way you want to, or they won't like things won't happen the way you want them to, if you have kind of like a bad mental game, I guess. And
So, Dawson,
uh
what is like one area of your mental game that you've seen growth in since you came here?
um, I used to struggle at third base a little bit when I first came to Mesa. I was a little bit I wasn't like scared of the ball, but I grew up playing on turf, and so I kind of had to relearn how to play third base on dirt and grass. And so one thing that does is the ball can speed up, it can slow down. And so one thing that I try to do before every pitch is just try to imagine the guy hitting the hardest ball he possibly can at me. And so that every other ball that's hit, I'm like, okay, I got this. Like I can do this. But if I try to imagine this guy hitting like an easy ground ball to me, and then he hits like a screaming liner, I'm gonna be like, oh crap, like I'm not gonna be ready for it. I feel like,
Okay,
yeah,
so that's awesome. Positive. That's great self-talk and visualization. Did you learn that by yourself or were you taught that skill?
I kind of taught that to myself. I was looking for something that would help me kind of pre-pitch, um, with like get myself ready, and that was kind of just one thing I really thought of, and it stuck. It helped me last year a lot.
That's that's a very good strategy. Congratulations. What are your plans after MCC?
I plan to attend a university, with sports management, obviously. Um, GCU is basically my dream school. So I would love to go to GCU, but I'm definitely open to going to other schools that have my major and I can get the same degree at.
That's great. You have a good head on your shoulders.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think our baseball team's going to be in just fine shape if you're surrounded with others like yourself.
Thank you. We should be. It's going to be an exciting year.
It always is with the MCC baseball team. I think you guys are always good year in and
Yeah.
year out.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, Dawson, for being a guest on our T-Bird Spotlight today and continue to always work hard.
Thank you, Coach Corey.
Oh, you're welcome.